All right, guys, you know what this is. You know this is a 2023 Rivian R1S, but what you may not know is that Rivian has just signed a contract with Tesla, so they will be changing out this port right here to a Tesla port. Now, that's not going to happen until about 2026 models, but beginning next year, they're going to be sending out adapters so that you can use your Rivian truck at the superchargers. Oh, I also forgot to tell you that Rivian just bought a better route planner. So now your navigation is going to be a better route planner. And with a better route planner, it can figure up the weather conditions, your battery, and distance, terrain. It can factor all of those things in and tell you how much time it's going to take you to get to chargers and schedule your charging trips. So that is a huge win for Rivian. Well done. All right, no, I don't have another announcement, but let's get to what you guys came here for. Let's take a look at this Rivian R1S. So this is the Adventure line. It is all-wheel drive. It seats 7, and it has 4 permanent magnet motors. Those 4 permanent magnet motors give it 835 horsepower with 908 foot-pounds of torque. You get 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. That is extremely fast, and tell you what, when I was riding in it, it was ridiculous. So this does have the large battery in it. So it's got a 135 kilowatt hour battery, 129 kilowatt hour usable. That will get you up to 316 miles, and that just depends on the wheels that you have on there. If you choose the standard battery will get you up to 260 miles, again, depending on what size wheels that you put on. Now, the wheelbase on this, if you look at it, it looks like it's pretty good size, but the wheelbase on it is actually 121 inches. That's 14 inches shorter than the Rivian R1T. And the whole length of this vehicle is 200 inches, which is actually 16 inches shorter than the Rivian R1T. So it's shorter than the truck, which is crazy. You would expect this to be a lot bigger. Everything from the front all the way back to the doors, to the back of the front doors right here, that is all exactly the same as the truck. It's this back part is what is different. Now, you got rid of the gear tunnel. Obviously, there's no more gear tunnel there. And now you have seating for 7, 3 rows. It's pretty awesome. And one thing, before we get to that, I want to show you guys this frunk, because everybody likes to see the frunks. If you haven't seen this yet, it's pretty awesome. You can open it several different ways, but look how much space there is in that. That is massively huge. It's pretty awesome. We've used it to put groceries in before. It is excellent. Pretty cool. I think down in here, you've got this pad here. It can actually come out, and look, there's even more storage underneath there. So, it's pretty nice. This light bar across the front. At first, I didn't like it, but it's grown on me. I still feel that the front of this kind of looks cartoonish, kind of like it's gonna start talking to me at some point, like the Disney Cars movie. But it's starting to grow on me, and really, when you're inside the truck, who cares what the front looks like? You don't see it. All right, let's move around to the back. Check out this cargo area. Now, this is another cool feature of this Rivian R1S. It's a split hatch. Look at that. That is pretty awesome. So look, we've got this little tailgate right here that drops down. Now, this tailgate, they say, will hold up to 1,000 pounds, which is pretty amazing. Right now, this has got the Rivian charger that comes along with it. I don't know if you've seen the charger yet. But let's open this box up, and there is the Rivian charger. Don't want to take it out of the package, but you can see it's got a Rivian logo on it. Believe that it is probably a 40 amp charger. Don't believe these charge on an 80 amp system like the Lightnings do. Okay, so back here, you've got a decent amount of space back here. You can put up a couple cases back here. You can easily get your groceries back here without any issues. Now, looking back here, you also have 110 plug here, and then you have another 12 volt plug here. This right here, we're going to check that out here in just a second. I'll show you what that does. If you look down here, you slide that out, there is your air compressor. So you still get the air compressor just like the truck. You also have these tie down points right here. These can slide into different positions, and they will lock in there, and you can tie over to the one on the other side. So you can put a net back here or something like that to hold your groceries. So then if we take this part out right here, we lift this up and we look, there we've got a first aid kit, tire fill kit, and then guess what? We're not done yet. Look under here. You take this out, look at that space. You take that out of there, you have a huge amount of space in this backside. So you technically, if you needed to keep those seats up, you could easily keep that third row seat up. Now, let's drop this third row down. Very simple to do. Press this button right here, and you just push them down. Same thing on this side. Down. Now you have a lot bigger space. I will have the total cubic feet down at the bottom of the screen here. That makes a huge amount of space. Also, for the third row passengers, there's a cup holder. And inside here, if you flip these up, there are 2 USB ports in there. It looks like 2. No, it's just 1 USB port. So they can charge their phones back here. And I believe there's 1 on each side. Yes, there is. So plenty of places to charge. And if you look up here, look, third row vents. There is not a lot of third row SUVs that have vents back here. So that is a huge plus. Excellent job, Rivian. All right, so let's check out what these buttons do right here. So we're going to push that. That's going to drop that side. You're going to push that one. It's going to drop that side. Now, if you may have to move the seats forward just a little bit to get those to drop all the way down. You slide them the rest of the way back. But that will drop that down for you guys so you have a plenty of space. All right, so those seats are all the way down now. You can see how much space there is back here. Look at that. Huge amount of space. You'll pop around to the back. There, you can see how much space there is back here. It's absolutely huge. Wow. A lot of space. Bottom tailgate part is not powered. So you do have to lift it up and you do have to pull it down by pressing that little button. But the top is powered. So you've got your button right here. And then that will close up. Nice and tight. All right, let's go check out the inside. Now you can see in the back, you can look at the stitching on these seats. They are awesome. The Rivian logo up there. Nice mats. These mats are pretty cool. Back here, you have a full climate control for the rear here with vents. The backs of these seats are pretty nice. They've got these little bungee cord elastic system. Then they have a hook up here where you can hang your bag and a USB port to charge your phone. Inside the doors, you've got the same thing. You've got this bungee system. So you can store a lot of stuff inside those. It's pretty nice. Let's get in here, see how much space there is. Front seat is positioned where I normally sit. So you can see how much room I've got here. There is plenty of room inside here. We go around and we go look at the top here. I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 inches there. Headroom, no problem. You've got a handle right up here with a speaker. Centerpiece right here. You've got a couple cup holders down here. And I think that's it. Yeah, that does not lift up. Looks like it would lift up, but it doesn't. That back. All right, now, let's see how it goes getting into this third row. All right, so getting into the third row, they have a button on top right here, and we're going to push that button, and they will automatically fold up. You push them the rest of the way up, and then you have a narrow area to step into. So let's step up inside here. All right. So I am in the back now. I made it through that little area, and it's perfectly fine. The seats feel a little comfortable back here. Now, right now, you can see how my knees are. I have kind of a high floor here, so my knees are at this little odd angle, and that may not be comfortable for a long period of driving, but for kids, it's probably fine. Adults might be, just might be a little uncomfortable, but, you know, it should be okay. Now, you can pull this back, and it does adjust, so you can slide that second row anywhere you need to. But if I pull it all the way back, that is locked in all the way back. Now, the seat is sitting pretty much straight up and down. If you look at this seat and you see how it is angled back, my knees, if they put that seat all the way back, now I am not gonna be able to fit back here. But as long as they don't tilt the seat back too far, then everything should be okay. Okay, so now let's check out this front. Now, the one thing I always forget that Rivian has is a flashlight. I know you guys have probably seen this 100 times, 4,000 times, but check it out. You get a flashlight. That is pretty awesome. That's pretty impressive. I really think that's cool. All right, let's stick it back in there. Front doors are basically the same way. You have the front pockets here that have the elastic on them and stretch out. Now, one cool thing that I didn't realize is this does not have a glove box. No glove box over there, so guess what you have? And I missed this the first time when I had the R1T. There is your little storage. So you can put your insurance papers and stuff down in there, and they're kind of hidden out of the way. Most people are not even going to realize that that's there. It's pretty cool. Get inside now, where it's a little bit cooler. All right, so we are inside, and it has a really good digital display there. The shit's charging right now. And then look over here, and depending on your mode that you have this in, the highest mode is going to be 15 inches, and that's going to be for your off-road setting. And then if you go to sport, it's going to put you in the lowest mode, and all purpose is going to put you in the standard height, which is pretty cool. Now, the other thing this thing does have is dog mode, which I have the dog mode on right now just to keep it cool in here while I was working on the stuff, showing you guys the stuff on the outside. Now, this is like similar to Tesla. You have these vents and you can control them around, move them around. It does have heated and cooled seats. You have a lot of buttons across the bottom that does most of your features, which you can hit for your charging. Then you've got several different things that you can do here. You've got stuff on your car and your access, your keys, and what unlocks everything. It's pretty awesome. And then you have your navigation. Now, this one has not been updated yet with the better route planner navigation, but I'm sure that it will be getting it soon. But this is what it looks like. You can see where my house is right here. Not sure if we can zoom in. There we are. This is where we're at this house. And you see, I live all around farmland. Gotta love the Midwest, right? The thing that I like the most, and my wife loves, is this wood grain going around here. They call it reclaimed wood, and it isn't smooth. It's got a little texture to it, so it feels like real wood. Other than that, it's just the design of the seats are awesome. And what else do we got? You do have a space down here where women can put their purses or whatever you want to put in here. The other thing is this little center console thing is pretty cool. Press a little button, pops open, split sideways, and that is awesome because it it's easier to get through. You can see everything. Instead of having a giant thing you got to pull up out of the way, this you can see right down in there. You got 2 USB plugs down in there and plenty of other storage space. This pad right here, I'm not sure if this one is equipped with it because it doesn't have like a charging symbol on it, but if you get that package, this is also a charging for your wireless charger for your phone. Up top here, you have just your SOS buttons, but check this out. Look at this panoramic roof. Look how big that is. It goes all the way back behind the second row. It stops and then it builds another panel behind in the third row. So the third row occupants also have a panoramic roof. Pretty awesome. The last thing that I want to show you before we get done here is we have a Bluetooth speaker by Rivian. So you connect that in the infotainment screen and you can take this out and set it by your campsite or wherever you want to set it, out at the beach, and you can play your music from your truck. That's pretty awesome. Well, that is the Rivian R1S on the outside and the inside. So are you guys ready to take it for a drive? Let's go check this out, see how the ride is, and is it as good as the R1T? Can it possibly be better than the R1T? I don't know, we're going to find out. All right, so first thing is that it is just like a Tesla. You just press down to go to drive. Pretty simple. Do have the cooled seats on. So it's mighty toasty out here right now. All right, you guys are gonna get to see the lovely Midwest. If you have it on the off-road setting, you can only go 20 miles per hour. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. I guess they want to make sure that you don't break something. All right, so we are now in sport mode. Now, of course, this is the low, not quite the lowest. It is low. Lowest would be when you put it into kneel mode. And I think possibly if you go into conserve, maybe it takes you down a little bit lower, a little better aerodynamics. I'm not sure about that. But driving this, and you guys may see this while we're driving these country roads, is that the difference between the truck and this SUV. Of course, you are a taller vehicle. You have more space back there because you have a cover basically over the truck. Now that causes it to have just a little bit more body roll because you've got a little bit more weight up above. The other thing that we have noticed is that the suspension is just a little bit different. And sometimes it can be just slightly annoying. Not bad enough that you're like, I can't drive this truck, it's driving me nuts, but just enough that you may need to adjust the setting on it to set it the way that you prefer it to drive. It does have a little bit more bounce into it. Some people are actually putting it on a lower setting to stiffen up the suspension. It has a tight, hard impact with the small things, but the big things, big dips in the road and stuff, you seem like you're kind of floating and bouncing. And some people like that, some don't. So if you're one of those, prepare to adjust your settings so that you can get a little stiffer ride if that's what you prefer. All right, there is nobody coming. We're gonna go right out here and we will do a quick 0 to 60. And it's gonna be quick because it's 0 to 60, 3.1 seconds. This is going to be extremely fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We were way past 60. I didn't even count it, but yeah, we were way past 60. It's pretty amazing. All these all-wheel 4 motors, extremely fast, extremely efficient. Now let's go in and get up here into our all-purpose mode. I'm gonna raise up just a little bit. And we're gonna cruise for a little while. I gotta take this back to the dealership today, which, speaking of the dealership, it is Heller Ford in El Paso, Illinois. Their information should be up above my head somewhere. And give them a call. If you are interested in a Rivian, they have been getting them in and selling them. It's probably somewhere around 6 or 8 so far, Rivian R1Ss, and they also have an R1T there, and they've sold several R1Ts over the past year. So make sure you check in with them on that. And just in case, if you're looking for any other type of Ford, like a Lightning or a Mach-E, they have plenty of those too. So give them a call, check them out, check out their website. They'll help you out. So I want to talk about the comfort in here. Now, everything is in a good position. It's easy to reach. You can reach this big screen awesomely. You can see this big screen awesomely. And you can move the steering wheel in and out, all that stuff. I don't like the fact that it is, to do that stuff, you have to go into the settings, into the screen, which I know it's the same as what Tesla does. But I don't like having to do that and then try to move my steering wheel with these toggles and my mirrors and stuff. I just would rather have a switch underneath here that I can just push and move my steering wheel around if I want. It's so much easier, and buttons for your mirrors on this side over here. I know it's probably a little bit added cost because it's adding in buttons that they see you don't really necessarily need. But as a consumer, most of us like those little things to have buttons. It's kind of annoying to go in here and change everything around. Now, one plus that they did is you do have your wipers and everything are on this stock over on this side, which is nice. I like having that there. But these seats, I love the design. I think they look amazing. They look like they are good, comfortable seats. But for me and my wife, when we were riding yesterday, we had to drive about 3 hours. And both of us at about 2 hours were starting to get uncomfortable. My lower back was bothering me. Even having lumbar was bothering us. My wife uses lumbar all the time, and even that she couldn't get comfortable with. So, but that it could be just us, and other people that may have back issues may have a little bit of a similar type of reaction to it, but other people may be just fine. They may really like the seats and think they're great. We feel that they are a little on the stiff side. They don't have enough give to them to let your body kind of sink into the seat. But other than that, they are great. We like how they have power, everything on these seats, memory, everything. You get in and it just sets the truck up the way that you want to drive. This one does not have the Meridian sound system. They actually went to their own speaker setup. It does still sound very, very good. I don't know what the Meridian actually sounded like. Meridian's a good company, so I'm sure it sounded phenomenal. But these actually do sound really good. So I don't have anything to really compare that to. So if you're a stereo person, just get in one and check it out, see if it works for you. It works great for me. Regen on this truck is very strong. You can change the regen if you want to, and you can change your ride and all of that. There's a lot of things that you can do with this truck. You know, there's not a lot out there that have an active air suspension that you can change and adjust and move up and down and do all that type of stuff. Make it fit the right way that you want it. And this truck just does that. This truck does have lane keep assist, lane centering, and adaptive cruise. So, and all of them work well. I haven't really had any phantom braking yet that I've recognized. When we drove the R1T, I did have a couple times where it thought somebody was in the middle of the road, but they weren't actually there. It looked like somebody was crossing the road, but nobody was there. I don't know if it was a ghost or what it was, but it slammed on the brakes. About threw us into the dash and started flashing and screaming at us. So I haven't had any of those issues since that. And that was a year ago when I checked that truck out. So they probably made some software adjustments and enhancements. So they've probably taken care of that. So if you are looking for a 3-row, 7-seater SUV that can go off-road, that can go camping, this is the SUV for you.
but it can be a little pricey. And this one starts out at $75,500 for the Adventure package. This one has the 22-inch wheels, which was a $1,700 option. They also added the underbody shielding, which was another $1,700 option. You add in the destination fees, and this one came in right at around $80,500. This is well worth the $80,000 to go off-roading and do everything that this does, and the speed, and it's just the whole total package. You're not going to get that in a cheaper SUV. But if you are looking for a 3-row 7-seater SUV for a family vehicle that you are needing to transport kids and cousins and all kinds of family, check out this video right up here of 3 SUVs that are very good priced and can do a lot of things. Not quite as much as this one, but they can do a lot of things. So check out that video, and I will see you in the next one.